Hello, my name is Soul and welcome to the second in-depth review and guide for a Skyrim VR mod. This series entails requested in-depth reviews and guides from my viewers. This request comes from the Trade Dog 27. This in-depth video is all about Frostfall, which also includes Campfire. If there's another mod you want me to cover for this series, let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you decide on using these mods, or you simply enjoyed the input from this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more VR and comedic content. And don't forget to hit the bell to stay up to date with all my videos if you do. I also stream on Tuesday and Friday on 3 platforms, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I also do an art stream on Saturdays sometimes. Linktree is in the description. Also, if you'd like some modding help from me or you just want to join my community, join the Soul Chamber, my Discord server. Now let's dive into the Soul Chamber's archives for Campfire and Frostfall. Campfire is an outstanding camping mod for Skyrim. This mod was created from Frostfall, as Frostfall's first iterations had camping included. It was detailed and made the RPG game into a survival RPG game. After the previous versions, Campfire and Frostfall have split into 2 mods since version 2.6 for Frostfall. The first being Campfire, which was set as a framework for other modders to have their own unique camping gear or skill trees added to the game, and Frostfall for adding fitting hypothermic survival elements to the game. Each of these mods have had plenty of add-ons from the community and others by Chesko himself. These 2 are my personal favorites within the entire Nexus, as well as your typical needs mod, which most, if not all, are compatible with these mods, by the way. Installing is rather simple and not much to it. Just simply use your mod manager and install them normally, and they'll work as intended. But just know that Campfire is supposed to be a master file or an ESM file, which are always placed above other mods that are ESPs or ESLs. And once you have everything installed and are in the game, during the middle of the night, stare into the sky to activate the mod, or use the power in your magic menu. Several things will occur. Your clothing will be removed and replaced with the same clothes you were just wearing, but this time they will be given ratings for the specific weathers, and we'll go through those ratings shortly. Spells will also be added into the game, and so on. But let's go into depth as we intended. Camping in Skyrim is simple and easy. First, you'll need to get set up for your adventures. Buy or find or even craft a backpack, which will dynamically show your equipment if you have them in your inventory, such as a bedroll, torch, cooking pot, axe, and water skin. Bare minimum recommendations to start this mod is an axe and 1 of each tent, at least from me. And now that you're ready to camp out in the world, you'll want to build your fire to combat the harsh weather of Skyrim. You'll be given a power named Build Campfire. A blue highlight will appear once you use that power, and you will want to find a suitable place to camp out. When interacting with the camp, you'll be given options to set the fire ablaze with either magic or just regular flint and stone. Yet you do need tinder. If you do not have wood on you, you can use the harvest wood ability in your power menu, which will allow you to search the nearby area for dead wood, branches, and trees if you have an axe. You can also use other abilities to create other resources, such as hatchets, arrows, and more. Instincts grant you an ability for vision to see creatures that make noise or even smell the dead, which does also include the living undead. That's contradictory, but you know what I mean. Zombies, Draugr, Necromancy. There's another option for instincts that will direct you to your target for the quest that is active if you enable it. Use these abilities to increase your chance of survival. Using these abilities along with completing a cycle of camping will increase a skill called the camping skill, a custom skill tree that can be seen through the use of the campfire you created. This skill tree will allow you to build longer lasting campsites, finding resources more efficiently, and much more. These skill trees can be expanded by mods such as Skills of the Wild. There are more expansions for Campfire to expand the camping experience. Just go about the Nexus and find what you like. Now, to actually rest at the camp, you must know that there are 2 types of tents for the player to use. Leather for the doom and gloom moist rain, and fur for the grisly and frosty weathers. You can also upgrade these said tents to hold up to 4 people, which includes you. So this will work well with any follower framework of your choosing that allows sandboxing. This will also allow 1 pet of your choosing. If your spouse is with you, they'll be as close to you as they possibly can. So if you have a wife like Paella or something, there you go. To use and place the tent, simply drop or use the tent for the game to register its use. Once you're in an open world, a blue highlight of the tent will appear and you can place it anywhere of your choosing that will be allowed by the game. If the tent is highlighted red, the tent cannot be placed. And if you place the tent near a town or city, you could be fined for setting up camp near the town. So be at a distance when creating your camps so you don't get caught and, waste money for nothing that could have been avoided. Now that camping has been established and discussed, the mod that makes Skyrim a survival game is upcoming. Frostfall is a mod which comprises of 3 components: hypothermia, cold water survival, and camping. The objective for Frostfall is to add an immersive and intense experience to your game while being not so tedious. Frostfall tracks your location, weather, time of day, worn clothing, and more to determine your specific conditions, all of which are seamless and immersive integration. Since Campfire is required to run Frostfall, it features a variety of craftable equipment for your camps, as well as craftable torches. Frostfall is highly customizable and compatible with most mods, whether it's food, time scaling, lighting, and overhauls like werewolf and vampire mods. Frostfall also adds an additional campfire skill tree titled Endurance, a perk tree that centers around the weather. For an experience, simply travel and spend time in the cold or in a harsh weather setting. The skill tree allows you to improve, adapt, and overcome the weathers of Skyrim. The perks can increase protection for the weathers and rivers. Frostfall adds several mechanics to make camping more difficult, like tents being able to catch fire and adding warmth and coverage. Warmth is the overall exposure protection and resistance from weather, which can be granted from the gear you're wearing, and coverage determines how fast you can get wet in the rain or waters, which, if you're in the water, you're gonna get moist no matter what. I mean, it obviously makes sense, so just be aware of that. Coverage will also reduce the amount of exposure you'll acquire in the harsh weather, so make sure you're covered up. The more exposure you accumulate, the more danger you'll face in the cold lands of Skyrim. Getting gear such as cloaks to gain more coverage and warmth is the goal to survive Skyrim. If you are unable to survive the weather, you can be rescued from a passing traveler when you pass out. You could be dragged to an inn or carted across the land. And this can be altered in the MCM menu to be an absolute certain death when your exposure is in the danger zone, if you want this to be the case. You can also be more resistant to fire when you're wet, while also being weak to shock. Being near fires can reduce your exposure to put you in a safe zone, but if hit by frost spells, your exposure will increase. And if you play as a vampire, you're immune to all forms of frostbite with a passive warmth bonus of over 100 to fit the cold dead bodies that vampires are said to possess. The only gears that can grant you warmth and coverage are headpieces, the body, hands, and feet. Nothing like jewelry will affect your exposure. Various spells are also added to help combat the weathers, like Conjuring Shelters and Bound Cloak. If you wanted to customize the setting of warmth and coverage for your gear, you can do so in the MCM menu. Now, here are my thoughts and uses, or well, my overall thoughts on the 2 mods. Now, Frostfall and Campfire are one of my favorite mods of all time for Skyrim. If you've watched or listened to me talk about modding or playing games, especially in VR, I absolutely love being immersed in my game. These 2 are the definition of immersion, especially since Skyrim is a harsh, cold place. I've always used Frostfall since Oldrim, since its initial release, and along with other mods from Chesco. Yet in VR, these 2 make my immersion experience much bigger and keep me coming back. And to be honest, all of my opinions on these 2 are biased, so I won't go into extreme depth on how I feel about these 2 mods. I cannot think of a time I did not have Frostfall and Campfire installed, and that's all I can really say about my overall opinions on the mods. I love them. They're a must-have in my load order all the time, especially with add-ons such as needs mods like Sunhelm, or the new needs mod that's actually rated by Chesco and another, Last Seed, and other mods that even add more to it, like Hunterborn, Skills of the Wild, and Tentapalooza. The survival experience makes Skyrim amazing, and I absolutely love the idea of a giant open world survival RPG game. I know there are plenty of those that exist, but not many exist for VR. And that's what I want. That's what I love about this. Skyrim VR modding changes my entire outlook on Skyrim alone. The modding just changes everything. Well, that's it for this in-depth guide and review of Campfire and Frostfall. If you have a specific mod category or role-playing type of character you want me to cover for your Skyrim VR, let me know in the comments. And be sure to endorse Campfire and Frostfall if you've downloaded the mods. Support the creator and encourage them to do more, or to just give them pride. The links for Campfire and Frostfall is in the description, as well as other mods I recommend to use with these mods. The link tree for my socials and streaming platforms will also be in the description below. And don't forget to join the Discord to be up to date with my content, or just to chat with me and my fellow souls. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to like the video. Also, if you're interested in the VR roleplay series, I post one every Sunday morning, CST. If you're interested in other VR content as well as comedic moments, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of those future videos. And one last thing is to keep your soul free.